Shalom, my brothers and sisters. Shalom. This is Man's Final Steps. It is a continuing series to those who will be among the ranks of the 144,000 in multitude, mentioned in Revelation chapter 7:14. Today is February 7th. My name is Symmanayah, and in this segment of Man's Final Steps, it is a continuation to the segment Priority Sequence, Order of Service. Priority Sequence, Part 6. Another thing that is important for us to come to be aware of as we are refined and perfected to represent the 144,000 in multitude who will come out of the Great Tribulation. This segment, I want to briefly touch on language. Yes, language. My brothers and sisters, if you've been following along with this multi-part message, I salute your patience and your endurance. This is part 6 of the multi-part message. The multi-part message is entitled Priority Sequence, Order of Service. But as I stated, I will address the matter of languages. We have entered into end times. Many of us are discovering things that were once hidden, especially regarding pagan false idol terms used in an attempt to hide the Almighty Yahuwah and Yahusha, Mashyach's name. There's a wide following of people who believe they are ordered to resurrect what they believe is the pure language or clean lip. My brothers and sisters, although a pure or clean lip or language is mentioned in Zephaniah 3:9, which reads as follows: For then I shall turn unto the peoples a clean lip, so that they all call on the name of Yahuwah to serve him with one shoulder. Consider these facts. Man has attempted to manipulate what is in Scripture since the days of old. There are even governments who have changed borders of set-apart lands to deceive and manipulate prophecies. Just as these things has occurred, there are people who are trying to manipulate and bring about the fulfillment of Zephaniah 3:9 prematurely. I submit to you, though we are to come away from the atrocities of pagan false idol names used in an attempt to hide the Almighty Yahuwah and Yahusha's name, we are not ordered to attempt to discover and promote what we think is the original Hebrew or Arbary language. There are no such orders in Scriptures. People have become fascinated by this language, not realizing during the days of old, when the Hebrews or Arbary spoke one language, wickedness still existed. For some reason, people think by learning Hebrew or Arbary that will make them more righteous than others, not knowing that wickedness still existed. Many self-appointed mores, teachers, false teachers, and prophets, as well as other outspoken individuals, have established a following, a ministry, a group, a camp, a fellowship. Many of them mislead people to think that we are called to return to the Hebrew or Arbary language before the return of our Mashyach, and that this is the clean lips spoken of in Zephaniah 3:9. These practices, these teachings are erroneous and wicked. The original Hebrew or Arbary language consisted of pictures and symbols with a purpose and function. Man has been overtaken by the wickedness of one who has allowed us to fall into the snare of thinking that we are discovering our new or our once hidden language. Yes, the original language, people are being overtaken to think that they have discovered what was once stolen from us. There are many forms of communication. There are many different languages, and in an effort to distract our focus on He who gives us breath, a heartbeat, and life more immeasurably, the wicked one has caused many to consume much time pursuing what they think is the original Hebrew language. Yahusha, our Mashyach, our Messiah, is who we should be focused on, is whose voice we should get to learn and respond and obey. We have been exposed to the Scriptures such as ancient Hebrew, Paleo-Hebrew, modern Hebrew, as well as many other variants with the perception that this is where we must return. Again, I submit to you, wickedness existed even among those who spoke the ancient languages. We are instructed in scriptures to worship and obey the Almighty Father Yahuwah through a set-apart spirit sent in Yahusha's name. Yahusha, our Mashyach, our Messiah. Do you not think he know how to communicate with us? Do you not think or know that he knows what is necessary to fuel our understanding, to fuel our efforts to obey and worship him with precision, to respond to his reproof and discipline? Do you think he can't speak the language that we need to hear? I submit to you, the Almighty Father wants function, wants action, wants us to obey and demonstrate his power within us towards one another. Apparently, however, our lusts and desires, for some reason, in many instances, our curiosity has led many astray, thinking we must pursue learning what is perceived to be a Hebrew or Abari language. I have witnessed those who profess to know Hebrew or Abari fail to inform their followers that this language of which they promote also have many subjective meanings. Yes, one word could have different meanings. I have witnessed self-appointed mores teachers portray a perceived level of knowledge regarding the perceived Hebrew language, but for some reason are totally void of acknowledging the presence of the Spirit of Yahusha. They have taken a magnified position of sensationalizing Hebrew terms and words. They have taken a position of promoting more so the word Ruach, which simply means spirit, or Ruach HaKadosh, which simply means set-apart spirit, as well as the word Torah, which simply means laws or rules of Yahuwah. Yes, they prefer to promote these and make it in sensationalized Hebrew terms. Many promote erroneous behaviors and teachings that distract one from getting to know the voice of the Spirit of Yahusha, worshiping and obeying with precision. Many have fallen into the snares of these false teachers who fail to present what is whole regarding the language they promote as the original Hebrew or Abari. What is whole is that these words too are subjective and require that we lean on the voice of the Spirit of Yahusha to make alive the letter. It would be wise, my brothers and sisters, to begin earnestly seeking to discern and understand what is expected of you, yes, you, and pursue righteous guidance and direction regarding what language you should be speaking. Soon and very soon, we will come to realize how much time is being consumed trying to master the perceived variants of Hebrew or Abari language over getting to learn the voice of the Spirit of Yahusha. The 144,000 and multitude will be a massive group consisting of many people of different languages, but are yet part of one body of worshipers of the Almighty Father Yahuwah. The Spirit of Yahusha in these final days, during these end times, will direct our path, and we will come to know how to communicate with accuracy what must and will be done. Soon and very soon, there will be much movement, forced movement, as end-time prophecies enlarge regarding famine, drought, pestilence, and disease. In the wake of these, chaos, violence, upheaval, civil unrest, and much more will erupt. However, for the children of obedience, these will be humbling and refining times. The days have been shortened, my brothers and sisters. Choose wisely how you spend your time. Once a sense of urgency erupts with fierceness, people will then realize we do not have time to waste, let alone trying to grasp new languages. Allow me to read the following. 1 Corinthians 4:20 reads, "For the reign of Elohim is not in speech, but in power." 1 Corinthians 13:1 reads, "If I speak with tongues of men and messengers, but I do not have love, I have become a sounding brass or a clanging cymbal." 1 Corinthians 14:5 read, "Now I wish you all spoke with tongues, but rather that you might prophesy, for he who is prophesying is greater than he who is speaking with tongues, unless he interprets, so that the assembly might receive upbuilding." One of the things we see, my brothers and sisters, are those Hebrew scholars who claim to be interpreting. Some have gotten so full of themselves and so caught up in their own conceit that they know that they are lying and just telling people anything regarding the Hebrew language. Pray to discern, For soon in these end times many will be exposed in their wickedness. Notice how Shaul uses the word tongues, plural, notwithstanding one particular language. How many of us have witnessed these so-called Hebrew scholars display what they believe is the original language, but leave us baffled at their utterance? Some want us to ask, what does that mean? What did you say? They try to lead us in their own conceit, in their own wickedness. Be leery of such. For some reason, many of these self-appointed mores, teachers, shepherds, and leaders who portray a mastery in Hebrew language want us to believe they have become more in tune with the spirit of Yahusha. But indeed, they are far from the truth. Are there those who are called, who are given insight to the Hebrew language, the variants of Hebrew language? Indeed, they are. But for some reason, they are rare and far between. So many out there are far from the truth. The wickedness in these practices will be laid waste among the children of obedience. In due season, those who have received convictions to learn these various languages will speak truthfully regarding their place and their position in the gathering. But for those who are trying to mislead and deceive many into thinking that they are more righteous, more anointed than others, or more learned than others, and that they have grasped this phenomenal heavenly language, those who portray deceit and mislead many, these practices, their actions, will come to an end among the children of obedience. Pray and watch. Establish a ready mind, body, and soul. We will witness the 144,000 in multitude come together like never before imagined. As the scriptures describe the multitude, every nation, kindred, and tongues, does it say a group with one single language? Absolutely not. Unequivocally not. You see, my brothers and sisters, we will witness unity by the power and strength of the Spirit of Yahusha like never before witnessed. It will be wise to begin walking in wisdom, for our time is indeed short. Get to know the voice of the living Messiah, our Mashyach, Yahusha, and discover an immeasurable life. This journey is filled with complexity, and there is much work to be done. Do not fall for thinking those who promote these variants of perceived Hebrew or Abari language are more anointed, are more in tune with righteous guidance. Do not fall for that. I present to you, they are not. Proof will come. Leaders sent from the Spirit of Yahusha will arise and emerge. They will become visible to the children of obedience. They will deliver right rulings and execute judgment as guided by the Spirit of Yahusha. This concludes the sixth portion of this multi-part message entitled Priority Sequence, Order of Service. You see, my brothers and sisters, we will come to know what is priority as we are gathered together according to what is written in scriptures. This concludes the sixth portion. It is designed to provoke thought in a position regarding language. Pray on these matters, my brothers and sisters, and stay tuned as we move to part 7 of this multi-part message, which is indeed part of the continuing series known as Man's Final Steps. Stay tuned for more. Shalom, shalom, shalom.